Hi guys, how you doing? This is Rich from richtvlive, and we're talking about weed stocks. Now, the weed stocks have been under a lot of pressure lately, and you can see that the marijuana index in North America was at 264.25, down 3.87%. In the United States, down 2% at 111.81, and in Canada, down 6.64% at 592.30. Going under that 600 mark, which seems to be a very difficult number for them to be able to sustain recently. And if you take a look at the volume actives, you will see that there's a lot of red. As predicted, that this is the summer doldrums that seem to always happen here in the markets. What's going on, guys? How you guys doing? How you doing, Garvit? How you doing, Mark? So a lot of red out there across the market, a lot of selling pressure, a lot of negative sentiment, a lot of people talking about how these companies are not making money. But realistically, is it really that bad? Namaste was up 2.22% at 92 cents. They've been a sleeping giant for quite a long time now, coming from like 40 cents to 92 cents, making a crazy move secretly while everybody else is coming down. Look at Tilray. Tilray at $39 now. How appealing is Tilray at $39 considering they were trading over 100? So there is, look at MJAR down 14%, DYME down 11%, GGB down 8%, Cresco Labs down 7%, FONE down 5%, MedMen down 5% at 304, GLH down 4% at 10 cents, TGOD at 374 down 4%, Tilray down 4% at $39 now. That's the lowest we've seen Tilray since a month into their IPO. And TRTC getting crushed again, down 4% to 67 cents. What's up, Thomas? What's up, David? So I'm just looking at the industry, and then, okay, so the global cannabis stock index is down. The American cannabis operator index is down. The Canadian Cannabis LP Index is down. The Canadian Cannabis LP Tier 1 Index is down. The Canadian Cannabis LP Tier 2 Index is down. So we see a lot of red, okay? But it's not a lot. It's not nothing to cry about or anything, but it's not exciting either, right? So, and I'm reading the news, and all I see is revenue, revenue, revenue. M. Jardine Q1 revenue increases 59% to 10.8 million. Let's go to TradingView. Let's take a look at MJAR. So let me get this straight. They're reporting an increase to 10.8 million in revenue, and the stock goes down. What's up, Pekka? What's up, Davey? How you guys doing? How's everybody doing? Ladies and gentlemen all over the world, how you guys all doing? Hope you're having a great day. The markets are sinking, and it doesn't seem to matter what the news is. Let's take a look at the next one here. Indus Holdings Q1 revenue increases 180% to 6.4 million. Green Growth brand generates fiscal Q3 sales of 5.6 million. Pretty sure that's like a record for Green Growth brands in revenue. And what did they do? They took it on the chin. They took it on the chin. They sure took it on the chin. 3.47, $3.47 went all the way down to about 3.29. Wow. So they report this revenue, which I believe is the best revenue they've ever had. And the stock goes down. The stock goes down. Now, if you look at the year, you can see that Green Growth Brands is pretty much at the bottom. It's very interesting how these stocks are trading down right now. And I believe this is going to continue for the next month. That's my personal belief, just based on experience. I hope it doesn't happen. As someone that's holding lots of cannabis stocks, I don't want to see it happen, but man, I don't know. We're going into June. Man. And I don't know, man. Like, look at Cresco Labs, 21.1 million. Growth of 313%. And the stock goes down. I don't know. What's going on there? Then there's MedMen. MedMen stabilizes adjusted EBITDA loss as sales rises 22% sequentially to 36.6 million. Another record for MedMen in revenue. And what does MedMen do? Let's take a look. I see more red. I mean, this is unbelievable. Like, look where they were in October of last year. Right around legalization day. The day after legalization day. Talk about hype, eh? $9.87. Could we dream of $9.87 again? Could we? Could we dream of it? Would we dare dream of it? It seems just like a dream right now, doesn't it? Yet, they're starting to dominate in California. And I just believe that when legalization occurs in America, that this is going to be one of the companies that's going to explode the most. So I do own shares in MedMen, and I do plan on getting more. I do find this company to be highly undervalued, underappreciated, and underexposed. Now, I understand that they're showing massive losses, but I believe that that is contributed to their growth and their expansion and their focus on being a first mover in the cannabis sector. And I believe, very similar to Canopy Growth and Aurora Cannabis, that they are on the right track and they are going through the similar growing pains that Cannabis is going through. A company that has the potential to be a giant, but just isn't there yet. And they've had troubles after going up, similarly to MedMen. They went up and then they came down, you know? But like, what I'm learning here and what I'm seeing here is that this news, it's all about the trend, because this news is good. Like, look at all the news. TREC Brands raises 10 million. Origin House Q1 revenue increases 41% from Q4 to 11.2 million. All I see are companies that have great news and revenues are growing, but the stocks are going down. So this is a sector consolidation. When the entire sector is consolidating, it doesn't matter what your news is. And ultimately, at the end of the day, the company that leads the way is Canopy Growth Corp. They're the company that leads the way. If they go down, the entire sector goes down. That's just the way it goes. Because they're the biggest bully on the block. So since they're the biggest bully on the block, they call the shots. And when they're hot, everything else is hot. When they're cold, everything else is cold. And right now, Canopy Growth, I mean, overall, I mean, they've been performing unbelievably, right? So they're coming down a little bit. Everybody's coming down a little bit. It's the summertime. This is what happens. But at the end of the day, there will always be sneak attacks. Some days will be better than others. But when all the big boys go down, then all the smaller stocks, they will definitely suffer. Because what will happen is the smaller companies, people will sell those and they'll buy the bigger ones. People will sell the smaller $1 and $2 stocks and the penny stocks, and they'll buy Aurora Cannabis when Aurora Cannabis is down, or they'll buy Canopy Growth, because that is what is considered the #1 cannabis company in the world right now. The only one that might be able to rival them is GW Pharma, which has the potential to be just astronomical. So, and they're trading at $176 a share. And they have a very tight float. They don't have a lot of shares out, so they have a chance to be just astronomical. They already are leading the pack as far as share price for the entire sector. So Mark says, I believe the summer will be a buying opportunity. I believe so as well. Yeah, I think the entire global economy is slowing down, and cannabis stocks are going to naturally slow down with the marketplace. But there's still opportunities out there. Like, look at this one, Grayscale Ethereum. This is mind-boggling. So all of a sudden, crypto gets hot, and Grayscale Ethereum goes from $6, even $5 on March 29th. And now we're seeing, I mean, we saw way higher. We saw it as high as $44.97 today. But it finished off at $39.95. Unbelievable. From around $6 to $40, 6 times 6 is 36, 6 times 7 is 42. So we're talking about like 650% returns since March 26th. We're talking about 2 months. We could have made 650% returns on Grayscale Ethereum. Now, I'm not suggesting we should go and buy it. Thank you guys for the likes. I really appreciate it. Appreciate your guys' support. You guys are the best community on the planet right here. This stock nobody even knows about. This is a cryptocurrency stock, and on TradingView they are saying it's a strong buy. But be careful. I'm not suggesting you buy it. I mean, look how much it's gone up. It's risky as hell. I don't know where it's going to go. I can't guarantee you it's going to go up or it's going to go down. All I can tell you is it's hot. That's all I know. I know that for a fact. It's hot. But I can't tell you where it's going to go because I honestly don't know. I just, looking at the chart, it looks like very bullish. But, man, can it continue? Could it continue? Grayscale Ethereum Classic Trust is buying a lot of Bitcoin. I wouldn't be surprised. So these are opportunities out there. Now, within our community, we've identified that the HMMJ ETF and HMLSF in America might be the best opportunity to invest right now. I'm going to explain to you why. So these ETFs are essentially a mutual fund, a holdings of a group of the best cannabis stocks in the world. HMLSF in America, HMMJ in Canada. And I did a video about this in 2017 when they were coming out, and I bought this when it was at $11. And I mean, it's been much higher. Clearly, we've seen it as high as 27. And we've seen, so the high, I like to always mark the high. So the high is 27. So I know what the high is. And then the low. So the low is 13 and the high is 27. So in the middle is right around where we are, kind of. We're not really far from the middle, to be honest with you. So when the momentum is high, this is going to go up. And when the momentum is low, this is going to go down. That's just the way it is. This is going to go up and down with the marketplace. This is one of the best stocks to look at if you just want to see what the cannabis stocks are doing. Horizons Marijuana Life Sciences. This is a beast. And we found out that they're actually paying a dividend. They're paying a dividend of 5.47%, if I'm not mistaken. So keep an eye on HMLSF, HMMJ in Canada. I believe this could be a huge opportunity for us if we start loading up on this because, and I'm thinking about buying it. A lot of our members are talking about it because they're paying a dividend and they're investing in all the best cannabis companies. And as long as those go up, this will go up. And we're talking about the biggest, like Canopy Growth, Aurora Cannabis, Afria, Kronos Group. They're in on all of it. Ryan Benton is asking, Enthusiast Gaming was halted all day today. Do you have any news? I don't have any news, but I'm assuming if the company is halting the stock, that they probably have some big news that's coming. I have no idea what it is. Now, we've seen that when companies put out good news, sometimes that can do a good job, but it just depends on the market. And right now, the market is kind of slow. So, honestly, don't know what the news is going to do for Enthusiast Gaming right now in this market because the market is really slow. And I would be very careful if I invest in anything right now. Now, if you find bottoms and you see a 52-week low and you're trying to find a 52-week low, then, and you find your 52-week low, you find your low, and you've been waiting, this could be your opportunity. But like I said, I'm not an investment advisor. Always do your due diligence, always do your research before you invest in anything. Invest in the best. The best is blessed. Try to invest in the best companies. They give you the best chance to win. But a lot of these companies are overhyped. The average company in this sector is trading at 40 times revenue. That is a sector-wide average. That is the issue in the cannabis space. The sector is extremely volatile, and these stocks can go up very quickly and they can go down very quickly based on just trends. And in January, they were hot, and we saw a lot of huge momentum, and they've been starting to slowly come down since. So be careful over the next month. I believe we are going to see more consolidation. And then I believe because we have catalysts like marijuana legalization in America and we have catalysts like edibles legalization in Canada happening around October 17th, 2019, I believe with those catalysts around the corner, we will see another run up. And most likely starting in July and carrying into October, where when the legalization occurs, there probably will be another dip, and that will probably last going into Christmas, like it did this year. So that's what I'm predicting based on historical events of the past. I mean, there's no guarantee that happens. Tomorrow they could all take off. I don't control the market. I'm just giving you my own synopsis of where I think it's probably going to go based on historical data. And if you look at it from last year, you can see the bottom last year was in August. I mean, this is Aurora Cannabis. You could see the bottom was in August. And then it hit another bottom in December 5th. And another bottom December 24th. And then it hit a high in October, the day after legalization. So there was a huge run up starting in August, and it went all the way till October 18th in Aurora Cannabis. And then we've seen a consolidation ever since, as low as $6 for Aurora Cannabis multiple times. And then we've seen a run up to 13, and then we've seen a consolidation ever since. And now they're at $10.80. So how low could we see Aurora Cannabis go? How low do you guys think we could see Aurora Cannabis go? I mean, it's been down to $5 or $6 a few times. Could it possibly go down there again? It's going to be very interesting to see. So companies are still generating revenue. These companies are growing. Look at this. TrueLeaf Q1 revenue grows 192% to 44.5 million. I mean, this company is a giant and the stock goes down. How do you explain that? How do you explain that? This is a industry sector issue. This is not a personal issue with TrueLeaf. But you can see what is the low and what is the high. Let's mark it again. The TrueLeaf low is $9.20. If you're trying to buy this at the bottom is $9.20, not $16 where it's trading today. The high, if we mark it, is $23. You do not want to buy it at $23. Where it's trading right now at $16, it's kind of right in the middle. Kind of right in the middle, right where it kind of should be. Now the question is, does it drag down further here, or do we go back up? Does it drag down further, or do we go back up? I believe it's going to drag down further before it goes back up, and I believe it will be an industry-wide drag down, and I believe it continues to drag down for the next month, based on the fact that summertime is coming and there's going to be less liquidity. People are going to go on vacation, and it's very likely we're going to see a drag down. Now, does that mean that we will not see sneak attacks? No, we're going to see sneak attacks. I mean, there's all kinds of sneak attacks. There's all kinds of sneak attacks all the time. There will always be sneak attacks. The question is, where do you find them? Where do you find these sneak attacks? In a sea of red, where do you find the sneak attacks? Do you guys have any sneak attacks? If you guys have any sneak attacks that you're watching, I'd love to know what they are. I'd love to know what your guys' sneak attacks are. We are looking and scanning the entire market. Look at Snap. Snap is an interesting one. You can see that they've come all the way from 30 bucks, hit a low of, so the high was $30, the low is around 5. Now they're at 12 again. They're starting to create a lot of momentum. They've doubled from 5 to 12, more than doubled. Does this continue up for Snapchat? I wonder what you guys think about Snapchat. Does anybody like Snapchat? Because they are actually bouncing from this bottom and starting to accumulate. I wonder what you guys think about Snapchat. In a sea of red, Snapchat is green. It's interesting. Another company that was green today is Radiant Technologies. Another company that's been way higher. I mean, they've been as high as $2.28. And right now they're under $1. They've been a little bit lower. The low is 41 cents. And their high is $2.28. So they've just been going down. When is this extraction giant going to explode? And there's a very good chance that's going to happen. I think there's a very good chance that this is going to happen. This is a market right now where there's a lot of selling pressure on a global scale. There's going to be a lot of winners. There's going to be a lot of losers. There's probably going to be more losers than winners. On a day like today, there's more winners than losers overall in the big markets because of the fact that yesterday was so red. It was so red. So when you get that much red, usually gets followed up with some green. I mean, unless you're just in an economic collapse. And look at this. There was more green today, earlier in the market, than red, and the market finished red. There was more decliners in the NASDAQ and the New York Stock Exchange than advancers today. 2,559 decliners, 2,246 advancers. So there it is. KG. KG, have a good day today? Yeah, KG, their chart just looks ridiculous. KG's chart looks ridiculous. So you can see the low is sub penny 002, and the high CBD company, guys, my goodness, of around 14 cents. So it's trading around that level. Be careful with these types of stocks. I'm not recommending you buy it. One of the members wanted me to look at it. I'm not suggesting you buy it, but do your due diligence, do your research. It has been on fire. It has been on fire. Cannabis. So, I mean, we look at Cannabis's chart, up 6% today. That's a nice surprise. I didn't even know it was up 6% today. I've been trying to avoid the bloodbath. Man, Cannabis has just been taking it on the chin. It's been tough to watch. So today they finished off with a nice green candle there. I like that. But they've been just getting obliterated. So, I mean, if you look at the chart over the year, we're going to chart this. So the high is 685. Let's use a better icon. The low is about 148, if I remember correct. So we are literally hunting bottoms here. And we're talking about a company that has a chance to be one of the biggest in the world. So I'm pretty comfortable hunting this company, especially at these prices. So you can see here that the high is 685 and the low is 148, and we're right around the bottom. At some point we're going to find the bottom of this giant. This will be a sleeping giant. This will be a long-term giant. Yes, they need to raise money. They still need to raise another $50 million. So could there be more downturn? Absolutely. Could we see it go down lower? Absolutely. At the same time, do you feel that there's a chance that this could go up? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And when it does, rocket fuel. Because your bad boy's loaded. Fully loaded. 10,000 shares deep. So, yeah, man, I'm excited about Cannabis. I'm really excited about Cannabis. Let's take a look at some of these undervalued stocks, man. What about Tilt? Tilt at 192. Let's mark their high and their low. So Tilt's high is 395. Their low is pretty much, what's their low here? $1.53. And we're at 192. So if you can pick it up like $1.53, like that's looking nice long term. If you want to just stack up on a potential giant, because I mean these guys are just, talk about consolidation. There's been a lot of consolidating going on around here. How do I feel about Organigram? Absolutely love Organigram. I mean, they're just an absolute giant. And now that they're on the NASDAQ, my goodness, watch out for Organigram at $7.55. A lot of these stocks are still cheap in America. They're still cheap in America. Let's mark this. The low of just under $3 and high of where we've just recently been in America. In America at $8.40 and currently at $7.55. So clearly Organigram has been climbing on an epic run. That is the American side. And in Canada, you can see they're still over $10 at $10.22, down 1.26%. So if we mark their low, you can see the low is around $4, right around $4.20, and the high is at $11.28, and they're currently trading at $10.22. So You might be able to get it a little bit lower if you're patient, but these guys are an absolute giant. And I remember talking about them when they were under $2, telling everybody that they were a sleeping giant. And they've been nothing short of a sleeping giant at $10.22. Now, let's take a look at some undervalued companies. Meta. Meta Access Cannabis Corp at 63 cents. This is a giant that's making big money. 8 figures a quarter, trading at 63 cents. I'm not recommending you to buy it. I'm just telling you to watch them, okay? I like these companies that are undervalued, that are making a lot of money, and are trading at low prices. It's just the way I think. It's the way my brain is wired, and I don't own it, but I'm watching them very, very carefully. So just watch them. You know, let's see how low they go. Let's see if they're going to have a move. We can see they just made recently a big move here. Went to, you know, over $1. Now they've consolidated. You know, what is the bottom here? Like 40 cents. We're at 60. The key here is that we're hunting the bottoms, okay? Indicators right now are showing a lot of selling pressure. Eventually, we're going to see a bottom, and we will see a dead cat bounce, or we're going to see a trend reversal, and we're going to see Meta climb. Currently at 63 cents, it's getting very appetizing for me, but I don't see any sign of them turning around yet. So I'm not going to just jump on it. Take a look at North. North made a big move. If we mark their low, you can see their low is at 45 cents. The high is $1.69. Currently at $1.03. Kind of trading right around the middle. And you can see right here, they've had a big move where they currently are right now. So they're still up dramatically. But they have trended down recently. So be careful if you're buying North. It has had a nice little move here. Just today, it's had a nice little move, but overall, it's been kind of trading down over the last month. You can see it's kind of trading down. So you want to hunt the bottom, and we got to be patient right now because I honestly believe we're going to see better opportunities and better entries for a lot of these stocks. Take a look at Labs. So I got myself caught up in Labs, buying them way too high, got excited, getting into them around $7 range. They've come down because they announced that they raised money, and they've come down dramatically. I really like this company. I do plan on accumulating a lot more, so I kind of welcome this drop. I don't know, kind of right now they're trending down exactly where they're going to go right now. They're raising money at $5.55. I believe they're going to try to keep it higher while they raise money at $5.55. But to be quite honest with you, now that they're raising money, I'm a little concerned. And I know there is 40 million shares that have been shorted. I knew this before I bought it, but for some reason I read the news and I got excited and I bought it. So I got kind of caught up way too high. I am going to lower my cost by buying more. I plan on accumulating. I do believe we could see this go under 5, especially after they raise money at $5.55. This has been the trend with companies that are raising money. I hope it doesn't as a shareholder, but I didn't know that they were going to be raising money at $5.55 when I bought it at 7. If this continues to go down, I will accumulate more. But I'm not planning on accumulating at $5.68 until I see it stabilize. I want to see it stabilize. I'm worried that they're going to raise money at $5.55, and then after that, the shorts are going to attack it because there's a lot of shorts in on the stock. Right now, when you look at the chart, you can see a lot of selling pressure, even though this company is generating a lot of revenue. But these financing announcements are the kiss of death. Recently, everybody that's announcing financing has been going down. So be very careful if you are planning to buy MediPharm Labs. I believe we could see them get back into the $4 range where I would be looking to buy thousands of shares. just based on their revenue and their growth potential, their partnership with Kronos Group, I think this is a company that goes up way higher. Full disclosure, I do have 1,370 shares. I do plan on buying more. I will let you know if I buy more. I really like this company. I like this company long term. I am going to continue to accumulate them. They've been on a crazy run. You can see it over the last year. It's been nuts. And I have traded it a few times. It's been crazy. And you can see the consolidation here. But every time they've consolidated, they've come back up. I believe they will come back up when the entire market comes up. Right now, the entire market is going to consolidate, and I believe it will consolidate into June. Unfortunately, I hope I'm wrong, but I do see it consolidating into June based on historical events, unless something unforeseen happens and gets announced, which could happen. There's always sneak attacks in all of these stocks. Overall, though, I do believe that the marijuana index is showing, like you guys see the red. The marijuana index is showing a lot of selling pressure. So, unfortunately, I mean, look at the percentage gainers. There's not much. IIPR up 2%, GRWG up 2%, MRMD up 2%, Namaste up 2%, CWeb up 2%, FIRE down to 168. Wow. Up 1%. ACRG, Acreage Holdings, up less than 1%. I mean, these are the winners. Valens Growworks up 4%. Ianthus up at $5.25, up 0.19%. I mean, there's nothing here to talk about. TerraSand TER at $7.65, up slightly 0.13%. Like, there's nothing here. There's no meat on this bone, right? And if you look at the volume actives, all we see is red. So overall, you know, we can see mostly a lot of red. And if we look at the 3-year chart, what I see here in the Canadian index is an industry that has had some big runs and right now is consolidating and is getting ready for another big run. I believe there's going to be another big run, and it's going to be epic. So get ready. Get your popcorn ready. Get ready. There will be another big run. I mean, look at the chart. We've seen it hit 1,000. We've seen it hit 750. We're currently right at 600. Edibles is getting legalized. The United States is little by little starting to get legalized. We're due for another big run. We're due for another big run. So I believe it's going to happen. Love to know what you guys think. I mean, the news is coming. Like, look at these revenues. These revenues are massive. There it is. MetaPharm Labs raises $60 million, selling stock at $5.55. Just that title, selling stock at $5.55. That just screams sell-off, you know? Charlotte's Web Q1 revenue increases 66% to $21.7 million. This news is huge. This is all over the last couple days. Harborside closes $19.65 million capital raise ahead of public trading. This is new cannabis ventures. Like, look at all the news. Canopy Growth, Quebec greenhouse now fully licensed by Health Canada. This news is massive. Like, this news is massive. TerraSand boosts equity offering to $69 million. I mean, the news just keeps coming, and the stocks are going down. I mean, this news just keeps coming. It doesn't stop. And it's not going to stop. It won't stop. It's just going to continue. So, thank you guys for watching. If you're not winning, you're probably not watching. This is your boy Rich from Rich TV Live. We bring you the news. We try to keep you guys updated. We try to bring you the news first. This cannabis revolution is real. It's going to continue. It's going to become more and more mainstream. It's going to become more and more adopted. And this sector is going to have explosions. And it's going to go up and down. And the people that do the best in this sector are the long-term investors. They're the ones that do the best in the sector. It's true. So keep focused on looking for great companies that are undervalued, underappreciated, underexposed. We will always find winners. We're always going to find winners first, even in the worst of markets. Take a look at these winners. We can find them. They're out there. But if you're a long-term investor, you're usually going to get the biggest yields, the biggest return on your investment. The key right now is for us to find the best opportunities at the lowest prices. These are some of the companies that are up today. These are some of the companies that were down. If you're buying your favorite companies in the red, you're giving yourself a chance to win. If you're a long-term investor. If you're a short-term investor, you may want to stay in cash. You know, right now, unless you're shorting, the shorters are winning right now. That's what's happening. That's a reality. The shorters are winning right now. They're winning the war in the markets. You can see that the markets are going down. See the trend in the markets? They're going down. Overall, yeah, there's some winning, but there's a lot of losing too. There's more losing than winning. And so when you see more losing than winning overall, it brings down the entire market. That's what's happening right now. That's what we're seeing. And I believe that this will continue. And unfortunately, I believe it'll continue for another month before it gets better. So hopefully you can hang on if you're a long-term investor. If you're a short-term investor, it might be a little tough right now, but you can see, look, Cannabis leading the way. Even Co. Incorporated, they just recently raised money. They've been going down. I love that company. I day traded and made money on them multiple times. G-Tech Holdings Limited, they went up today. Namaste went up. Radiant Technologies went up. 48 North went up. So you do see some green, but overall, we see more red, right? Look at Gene, down to 45 cents. Unbelievable. Yeah, you know, Huge is down to 21 cents. They're definitely undervalued, underappreciated, and underexposed. But the problem with Gene is they have too many shares. They got too many shares. So what the market makers want you to do is they want you to panic and they want you to sell your shares cheap. Because all the institutions, all the institutions and all the banks and all the day traders and all the short traders and all the speculators, they want to buy your shares cheap. So they want you to panic and they want you to sell and they want you to get rid of your shares cheap so that they can buy them cheap. And then when the next run comes, they're going to sell them higher. That's the way it goes. We've seen Huge way higher, but we've also seen Huge lower. So you have to understand that the reason why these stocks go down is that there's insiders and there's people that got shares cheaper. That's a fact. There's insiders that get shares cheaper in these companies, and that's why they go down. They go down because insiders and investors are selling. Who do you think is bringing these markets down? And if it's not them selling, it's the short traders that are taking them down. But I don't think it's the short traders. I think it's the insiders. I think it's the insiders and it's the investors that got in cheap. They got in early. Maybe they got in at 2 cents. Who knows? At the end of the day, they got in cheaper than 20 cents. That's where the selling's coming from. It's coming from somebody who got in cheaper. Let us not forget that they were at 7 cents. The low is 7 cents for Huge. The high is just under $1. They had an epic run. They had an epic run. Since then, it hasn't been easy for them. It's been quite difficult for them. They haven't been able to get it together. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that they have too many shares. Too many shares, too much dilution. Just forces the price down. That's what happens. Hey, Andy, what's up, man? It was a pleasure doing an interview with you today, Andy. Thank you for that today. You are a scholar, my friend, and I wish you all the best of luck with the J. Lewis Trading and the J. Lewis Trading Academy. And hopefully, you can win and share your story with people that are learning about the markets, because the markets are difficult and they are scary and you can lose money and you can win money. It literally is like a casino in your own home. It is very dangerous. You can lose all your money or you can create freedom. Like, that's really what the markets are. And I get reminded of that every single day. I get reminded of that every single day, and I make good moves and I make bad moves. And I always say that I'm not the best trader. There's the markets can take you to your knees. I don't care who you are. These markets will take you to your knees. And the markets have humbled me so many times in my life. So I've chosen to realize that I have a lot to learn about the markets, and markets are really about trends, and the trend is your friend. And when things are down, that's the time to buy. And when things are up, that's the time to sell. And when things are up, don't beat your chest and talk about how great you are. At that point in time, you should be selling. And when things are down, don't be panicking and selling. That's when you should be buying. And that goes for any investment, whether it's real estate, stocks, anything. You want to invest in the best, and you want to buy low and sell high. And what I'm noticing is the smaller companies, they're going down because they can't compete with the bigger ones. And the bigger ones are the ones that are going up. So we need to try to put our money in the bigger companies that are going up and stay away from the smaller ones, because it's the smaller ones and the penny stocks that will take our money. Yeah, once in a while we're going to hit a home run, but there's going to be a lot of losses. And if you want to avoid the losses, maybe it's better to stick with the stronger, bigger, better companies that have a bigger reputation and a better brand, because ultimately they've been the ones that have been going to the senior exchange. They've been the ones that have been going onto the NASDAQ and the New York Stock Exchange, like Village Farms. And you can see Village Farms, even though they've had a big run, they've been pretty stable, and they've even been under attack by short traders, and they've still been able to stabilize themselves. And that's because they have a tight float and because they're a good company. So good companies are going to go up, they're going to make good moves, and they're going to come back down. They're going to get under attack by short traders. But the reality is, if they're a good company and they're a strong company with a tight float, a tight share structure, they always have an opportunity to bounce back up. And this is what we're seeing with Village Farms. They've been a very difficult company to short because they have a tight float, they're making money, and they're growing. And they're going to be a giant in this sector. And that's why they've done well. And you can see even in America on the NASDAQ, they're trading at $12.70. And you can see that they've been as low as 310 and been as high as 1806 in America. And we'll mark their low at $3, and their high is at $18. They're currently at $12. So in the weed sector, in the cannabis sector, in the marijuana sector, the bigger companies have prevailed. The smaller companies have struggled. I think if we stay in our lane and we invest in the bigger companies and in the best companies, we will do better. And if we try to invest in some of these smaller companies that could explode over time, we might have to wait for a while, or they will get acquired, or they will just die, because a lot of them cannot really put together a good plan for their stock in the market. They don't know how. And unless they're prepared to actually take their stock seriously, their stock will never, ever trade up, because the market will not just trade a stock up. The company actually has to have a plan for their market. If they do not have a plan for their market, they will not be successful in seeing price appreciation for their shareholders. That's a fact. Village Farms, they've done very well. Tilray, let's take a look at Tilray. They've been falling. They've been under attack for what it seems like since they started. I mean, they essentially started at the bottom, which was around, 17, 18 bucks. They went as high as $300. Doesn't even show on this chart. But yeah, 298 right there. And now you see them all the way back down to 39. So this is pretty predictable. Obviously, Andrew left. Congratulations, Andrew left. You got your wish. You shorted the shit out of these guys. You said that they were overvalued, overappreciated, overexposed, and you were right. And you know what? You're a scholar, my friend. You are correct. And look, boom, all the way down. So he eventually got his wish with Tilray. He got what he wanted. But still, Tilray's up. I mean, they started at, let's say 18 to 20 bucks, and they're still at $39. The question is now, this is a great company. And yes, They're overvalued and overappreciated and overexposed. And I've said this for a while now. But at some point, this company will be undervalued, and it's a great company to hold in your portfolio. So what is the bottom? This is the lowest we have seen it since it pretty much started. So the question is, what is the bottom for Tilray? And will we be able to find the bottom? Have I ever heard of Juju? Yes, I've heard of Juju. They've been just destroyed. Yeah, Labs was a small cap just a few weeks ago. They're now playing with the big boys. I believe Labs will be one of the next companies that you will see graduate to the senior exchange. That's why I'm loading up on Labs. Lasco says, I see MedMan being the next Canopy on the US side. I think that's very likely. I really like MedMan. I think they remind me a lot of Canopy Growth, but as far as share structure, not with their management. And that's their problem. Their management, unfortunately, has been holding this company back with issues with their management. But as you can see, they've been way higher. They're pretty much at the bottom that they've ever been. So this is an opportunity of a lifetime for investors. We may never see these prices again. We may see it go lower. I'm not saying we won't see lower prices. I'm just saying that we may never see this company at $3 again. When they do take off, they will take off, and it'll be rocket fuel. There's no doubt about that. There's absolutely no doubt about that. And they will take off. And they will not go bankrupt, and they will not disappear. They will be one of the biggest companies in America. I truly believe that. They remind me a lot of Aurora as far as being an aggressive first mover, and that's why they have a lot of issues with their debt and their spending, but I believe it's strategic to be a first mover in America. And when you're trying to be a first mover in California and you have all these beautiful stores, you're spending a lot on branding. That branding is going to bring in a lot of repeat customers. Those repeat customers are going to translate into sales. I believe MedMen is going to be a giant. I mean, look at this fall from grace. I mean, look at that. Is that not an opportunity for us? So I agree with you. I think MedMen has huge upside. I think they have an incredible opportunity. I think there's an opportunity of a lifetime there for MedMan. For us, I'm not saying we can't get it cheaper. I'm saying let's work together as a unit and let's find the bottom. Let's find the bottom of all the best stocks and let's try to keep our money in all the best stocks to give us the best chance to win. Because if we invest in the best is blessed, and the blessed stocks will give us a chance to make a lot of money. Let us remind ourselves who is the best. Canopy Growth is number one in the cannabis sector. Let's look at their 1-year chart. Let's look at their 5-year chart. Look at that. I mean, this bad boy is just a thing of beauty. This was literally a penny stock. In 2016, it was at $2. That wasn't too long ago. That's only 3 years. It's been as high as 76. So they are the champion. There's the championship trophy. The high is 76 and the low in the last 3 years of $2. Imagine. And yeah, they've consolidated. They've come back down. But not as much as some of the smaller companies have. Not even close to as much as some of the smaller companies have. So as long as Canopy Growth continues to grow, which they will, every quarter, you're going to see big movements. And when they report their next Q, it's going to be ginormous. So this will most likely explode back up to around $70. So there'll be a good chance to make some money here on Canopy Growth. If you want to buy it at like 55, 56, and then it goes back up to 70. I believe there's a chance that Canopy Growth goes back to 100. I really believe that. So even this year, so at $56, I don't see any reason why we don't see them go on another big run. I honestly, truly believe that there's a very good chance the Canopy Growth has a big run here going into edibles because they're going to be one of the major players in edibles in the world. I see Canopy Growth maybe going on a big run. So let them retract a little bit, maybe even to $40 going into June. Where they're currently at 56. 40 isn't that far. Maybe they get into $40 range and maybe then we buy it. They're definitely consolidating right now. I think this will continue. I hope I'm wrong, But that's kind of what I see happening here based on the charts. I mean, look at the 3-month charts. You can see the consolidation, the low of 52, high of 70. Once again, that number 70. And right now we're back at 56. So I'm telling you, pretty soon here, Canopy growth is a buy. And then we're going to see another jump because they are a giant and they will continue to be. Choom, Choom at 46 cents, I absolutely think this is a buy. I absolutely think this is a buy. I mean, you could see it's right at the bottom. Absolutely, this is a buy. I mean, the low is 38 cents. It's currently at 46. So if you can get it a little lower, like at 36, then that's the low. The high, this bad boy's been way higher. $1.47. I made money on this. Thank goodness I sold. In and out last year, I remember, from here to there. And then look all the way down, consolidating, another big move back up to like 87 cents, consolidating back down to 40. So yeah, if you could pick it up around 40 cents, between 38 and 46 cents in these regions, absolutely I think Chew has enormous upside. But once again, these penny stocks, they can get beaten down. You got to be careful. If you want to make money in the cannabis sector, you're better off to try to buy the bigger companies. They will give you a bigger return on your investment based on historical data. The smaller ones have been getting beaten up or they get acquired. And it's the bigger ones that will last, that test the time, and they will be the ones that will prevail. And take a look at IIPR. Like, these guys are just a giant. My goodness. They've always been too expensive to buy, but they just go up. This is what I'm trying to say. Something about this, the big institutions, they don't want to buy the penny ones. They don't want to play with the pennies. They want to play with the big boys. IIPR is a big boy. Still at 84 bucks, guys. It's going to go to 100. Look at that chart. That's a thing of beauty right there. That is a thing of beauty. So do you want to put your money in a penny stock that's at 46 cents, it'll probably just go to 30 cents? Or do you want to buy something at 84 bucks that goes up on a day that everything goes down? IIPR goes up. This thing is a beast. Innovative Industrial Properties Inc. is an absolute beast. I think Supreme Pharmaceuticals is one of the most undervalued, underappreciated, underexposed companies in this entire sector. I do not know why the stock doesn't go up. I believe it's creating an amazing buying opportunity for investors. But if you look at their chart, you can see historically they're still up, but they're just a slow mover. I mean, they were at 8 cents in 2005. They're now at $1.68. They've been as high as, wow, 8 cents, eh? That's crazy. They've been as high as $3.50, and they've been just recently as low as $1.15. They're currently at $1.68. You know, their chart is trading where they probably should be. Do I believe they've got huge upside? Absolutely. But I do believe they fall into a category of, if they don't do something soon, they are going to be acquired. I feel like they fall in that category of a company that's going to be acquired. All right, guys. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys are winning. This is your boy Rich from Rich TV Live. Remember, Rich TV Live is strictly for education and entertainment purposes. Do your due diligence, do your research before you invest in anything that we talk about here on Rich TV Live. If you're not winning, you're not watching, we bring you winners, we bring them to you first. We analyze them. We've been bringing you cannabis stocks for 2 years. Since 2017, we've been talking about cannabis stocks. We've been talking about Canopy growth since they were around $5, and now they're at $42 in America, and they have been just a dream come true. At 80 cents in America in 2015, as high as $59 in America, they are the #1 cannabis company in the world. You heard it here first, your boy from Rich TV Live. Until anybody knocks them off the throne, they are #1, and they're trading at $42. There are some other players that are chasing them. GW Pharma, another giant, I think it has a chance. at 176. GW Pharma has a chance. Been as low as $40 in 2016, as high as 196, currently at 176. I also think another one that has a chance is Tilray. They're priced right around Canopy growth right now. So Tilray at $39, another giant. Tilray. And another one that has a chance is Aurora Cannabis. The problem with Aurora Cannabis is they have too many shares. And they're still cheap at $8. At $8, I think this is a joke in America. I see a lot of high net worth guys getting in. And Afria in America currently trading at $6.91. I'm telling you guys, this is like picking cherries right now. This is like picking cherries. So I see so much upside with all of these picks. Afria, Aurora, my goodness. I see it so clearly right now. Afria, Aurora in America, and priced under $10. For sure, they're going to be giants. They're going to be absolute giants. Look at those. Definitely take a look at Labs, guys. Labs has been on absolute fire. They just raised $75 million, so be careful. Oh, wow, they just announced an upsize. What? The $60 million just went to $75 million? Wow. MediPharm Labs Corp, LABS in Canada, MEDIF in America, a leader in specialized research-driven cannabis extraction and cannabinoid isolation, is pleased to announce that due to strong demand, it has entered into a revised agreement with syndicate of underwriters led by Scotiabank, GMP Securities LP, and BMO Capital Markets, collectively the underwriters, to increase the size of its previously announced $60 million bought deal offering. Pursuant to the upsized deal terms, the underwriters have agreed to purchase on a bought deal basis an additional 2.699 common shares of the company at the same issue price of $5.55 per common share for aggregate gross proceeds of $75 million. Wow. They just upped it. They're getting $75 million. Yo, I'm telling you, man, this market's going to pop. These things are hot. They're hot. MediPharm Labs, MEDIF in America, still cheap at $4.18. It's been on absolute fire. It's exploded. Be careful. It's reversing a little bit. Be careful of a trend reversal. Try to pick it up on the low. Try to buy the dips. This is your boy, Rich from Rich TV Live, and I'm out. We're looking at giants. Peace.